Hello everyone, you're watching Altek2k Gaming. Expedition has launched and this is my guide to the league mechanics. I hope you find it useful. While in this league, in each area you'll find an expedition site. You'll know you've found one because you'll find like a soil effect on the floor, and there'll be a guy in the centre with a detonator. Littered around the area you'll find remnants, which are these stone things. These give you a drawback and a buff to the area, and they affect anything beyond them, so the order that you pick these is important, and we'll go into that in more detail a little bit later. Next you'll find skulls on sticks. These small skulls on sticks are just general monsters. The big skulls on sticks are runic monsters. So where you find a buff on the remnants that applies to runic monsters, it's these big ones. And then lastly you'll find these chest markers. Now these come in three flavours. One is borderless, one has a yellow border and one has a red border. The borderless ones are the lowest value, the yellow ones are mid-range, and the reddy orangey ones are the ones with the best loot. I have dropped a couple of logbooks this league. They've all dropped from either red chests or runic monsters so far, so I don't know if that's a thing. The drop rate seems to be very, very low, but we'll talk about those in a little while. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the order of remnants. So this one would give us 300% increased rarity of items found in excavated chests, but that one there, runic monsters have 50% chance to drop additional currency. We definitely want that one first, surely. Now also, if we get all three of them within one circle, this is probably a big benefit because everything after them, including those, are going to have that benefit. And we want to try and get in as many things as possible. Oh, 40% increased quantity of items dropped by monsters is massive. If we make a mistake and we'll want to re-roll, use this back button or press Shift V, and then you can reselect. Okay, come back over here. Oh, we're out of range, so we're going to have to grab something else in the meantime. We'll grab that because it's not very important, and then come over here and get the currency. Now what we want to do is get the rest of them. And we actually want to get that red chest last if we can, so it's got all of the buffs on it. So let's put that one there and that one there. Once you're happy, go and detonate. And those bonuses will start to fly. Okay, onto logbooks now. They're like a map, but when you try and chisel them, it'll say I'm not a map. But we can craft them like any other map, which I just did there. And temporal chains, damage reduction, and chance to block is horrible for this build, so we'll be re-rolling that right now. And that's much better. Once we've got that, then we're going to head down here to Danning. He has a show expedition map. We slot in our logbook and then get to choose one of these three locations. Now, please be careful when you choose these because you can only choose one. Once you run it, that's it. You can't play the other two. Open the portals, and then they'll open at your map device as you'd expect. I do like these portals, and they are a challenge reward. I think it's 36 you need. Okay, in here things are a little bit different. You'll notice that we have some markers now on the chests. One was divination cards, the other one is chaos there, and those little mounds are fossils. Now you should notice as well that we have 18 pylons to start this map. Now what we want to do before we start is really run around the map and make sure we got the best possible idea of where we're going to run. Because this is the same as any other map, only the stakes are much, much higher. And another good reason to run around the map is if you do that and actually be careful what you're doing, you'll notice that I just rolled physical damage immunity on that thing there, which means that my build, which is mostly fizz, the moment it hits that area and anything beyond it, you'll notice that I stopped being able to kill stuff. And in fact, I'm now just spinning my wheels and I can't leech because I can't deal any damage. I've effectively bricked the last part of the map, and all that I can possibly do now is try and ninja the chests. So you'll see there, get in, grab some stuff and get out, hopefully without dying. Luckily, I have an unbricked version which we're going to roll now. I cannot stress enough how important it is to make sure that you really explore the map and work out your pathing because it's much more important than maps. You'll see here the loot is a little bit different to the ones we find in maps. You get more of it, but also it's themed to the icon that you selected from the previous area. Like there's oils there. There's circle artifacts. Now you may be thinking, that's all very well and good, but where's the real profit in these? You should be forgiven for thinking that when you're running the maps for these, that it's actually really low reward. You might get the odd rare drop, but beyond that, it's just this weird currency you've never seen before. And this is actually where the league is really profitable, because that currency is used with the merchants. Now this little icon I'm showing you towards the bottom right of the screen, this shows you what's on the map, but it also shows you each of the pylons that you're picking and what they're applying. So let's get on and talk about the merchants now, where really all the reward is for this league. So there are four. We have Gwenan the Gambler, Rog the Dealer, Danig the Warrior Scold, and Tujan the Haggler. Now, I was a bit worried to start off with that spending currency with any of them would prevent me from spending currency with others because I'd have spent it all. This isn't actually the case because each merchant has their own unique currency. Gwennen only trades for circle inventory, Rog deals only with order currency, Danning only with sun currency, and Tujen only with scythe currency, except for their rerolls, which are also unique. And actually, while we're on the subject of rerolls, and this is important, unlike any other league mechanic in the history of the game, this one doesn't refresh when you either complete a map or you level. In fact, this one also doesn't refresh its inventory even if you sell it out completely, which I did just to test it. The only way to do it is to pick up the currency and then use it, and you can get the currency from Danning if you wish. And like the normal currency, these currencies are also unique. Gwennen uses the Astragali currency for rerolls. It looks a bit like a domino. Rog uses scrap metal to reroll. Tujen uses exotic coinage to reroll. And Dannig uses burial medallions. Okay, so let's go through each one. Basically, the Gambler offers base types. You can't see what they are when you pick them up, but they can be anything in that base type. They could be a magic, they could be a rare, or they could be a unique. Now, I haven't managed to get a unique, but I have seen others who have. Now, from Chris Wilson's walkthrough, he said if you hover over them, you'll find one that's more expensive than the others, and these have a higher chance of rolling, the better items. Now, I've picked these for what I'm showing here, and every single one of them rolled absolute garbage. Theoretically, it can chance to any base type, including Leatherbelt to Headhunter, for instance. But in my experience, the Haggler has been the least profitable of all, but then my RNG is always really unlucky. I didn't even get a map until Act 10, and I didn't get a single Chaos until Act 9. Moving on now from the least profitable to the most profitable, and we'll go to Tujen the Haggler. Tujen the Haggler mainly trades in currency items, in addition to splinters, fossils, oils, things like that. Now, I found him to be the most profitable. He gives 10 chaos for some of his items. Now, the way we trade is we select one of his items and it brings up a little haggle screen, where there's a minimum value of 1 and a maximum value of whatever has been chosen. If the number's red, it tells you that you can't afford it. Now, what I've found is between 50 and 70% of the bars tends to be the sweet spot where he'll sell. I tend to drop it down to around 50, and then you'll get a set of lines to tell you where to put it, and then I'll adjust within those lines to get the item. Now, the thing to note is if you go in too low, or you keep going in too low, he will get really pissed off with you, and he'll just remove the item for sale. So you could lose it. So if you really want it, make sure you bid higher than you would normally, just to guarantee you're going to get it. If we go on to Rog the Dealer now, when you pick his screen, you'll get an item and you'll be able to see all the crafts on it, including the item level and things like that. Now, when you click on it to buy it, it'll give you the price to buy it. Once you purchase it, he'll give you a series of crafts for extra currency, so you keep spending currency and it will upgrade the item in the way that he specifies. Now, you really need to understand affixes when you're dealing with this character, because he's going to go through the trade steps and he'll talk about removing prefixes, suffixes and stuff like that. You need to know what those are, otherwise you're going to struggle to get the best possible deal from him. Now, if you don't understand those and you need to, I've got a short video on trading which I'll link at the end of the video. But as we go through his items, you'll see he offers different trades and we can choose to either continue or to keep our item. If we continue, he'll continue to craft. Now, bear in mind, if you go too far, he will brick the item. What you're trying to do here is to get the best item you can, where you don't want to risk losing it, and then you stop spending, get the item out. And finally, let's talk about Danning, the Bureau de Change or currency trader. We give him sun currency and he gives us other currency in return. Now, when we're trading with him, you can either use the slider bar to select the number you want, or you can just click on set to maximum at the side of this number here, and that will set it to the maximum you can afford, and then click buy and you'll trade the items. Okay, now we've covered the traders, let's talk about the expedition locker. Like Heist, where we got a Heist locker, we also got an Expedition locker. Now, when this was first announced, I was thinking, not another one we've got to deal with, but actually it's not bad at all. When we go into the locker, and in fact the Heist locker now, because they've added it to both, you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner there is an affinity tick box. Go into each one and tick it almost immediately. This will allow you to take your currency, trade it through just your normal stash tab, and it will put it in the right tab for you, which saves you so much time. Now, speaking of time, these videos do take some time to make and also to research. If you find them useful or entertaining, then I really would appreciate it if you'd leave a like. If you've watched many of my videos, then please consider subscribing. And if you know anyone who plays Path of Exile who would benefit from this video, then please feel free to share it with them. And that really is it. Here you'll find my video on crafting and affixes, and right here you can find my latest video. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.